Greetings to respected subscribers and guests of the channel. The Kresty Prison in Saint Petersburg is widely known from numerous Russian gangster movies. But what is its real history? When and why was it built? As early as the beginning of the 19th century, a so-called wine town was known in the industrial part of Saint Petersburg. There are two commonly mentioned versions of how this name originated. The first says that wine warehouses were located there, with barrels delivered by barges along the Neva River. The second claims that the name came from a detention facility in that area where people were held for their crimes, literally for their guilt. Whichever version is closer to the truth, by the beginning of the 20th century, a complex of buildings for temporary detention of prisoners was indeed opened on that site. About 25 years later, under the guidance of architect Aita Mishko, two new red brick buildings were designed and constructed. This is how the Kresty solitary prison in St. Petersburg came into existence. The prison received its name, Kresty, literally crosses, because of the shape of its two main buildings. From a bird's-eye view, the cell blocks resemble two equal-armed crosses. Between them stands the main administrative building. Through this architectural design, Aita Mishko sought to convey to the public the idea that punishment and spiritual repentance are inseparable. In his view, imprisonment leads a fallen person to recognize their guilt and directs their thoughts toward a righteous path with faith in the heart. Continuing this spiritual message, a church of St. Alexander Nevsky with 5 domes was built on the 5th floor of one of the buildings through private donations. The construction of the new 5-story buildings lasted from 1884 to 1890, though some sources state it continued until 1892. Prisoners from the old jail also took part in the construction. Internally, the new Kresty buildings were equipped with electricity, autonomous water supply, ventilation, and water-based heating. The prison complex included hospitals, an infectious disease ward, a morgue, a kitchen, a bakery, a forge, a boiler house, and an ice storage facility. Thanks to these advanced infrastructural features, Kresty was recognized not only as the largest prison by area, but also the most exemplary prison in all of Europe. During the revolutionary period, in 1918, at the height of the struggle against religion, the church was closed by order of the authorities. Its domes were dismantled, and the church building was converted into a Soviet club. The prison itself received a new status and became a district isolation prison under the Petrograd Provincial OGPU, United State Political Administration. The wartime and post-war years were extremely harsh and painful for Kresty. The prison was saved from total ruin by a cardboard factory opened on its territory in 1959, where prisoners themselves worked. Kresty held not only common criminals. Political prisoners were sent there during both the Tsarist era and the revolutionary period. Under Stalin, Kresty became the beginning of the end for many dissenters. Among its first well-known inmates were members of the Narodna Volya revolutionary movement of the 19th century. Before the revolution, Leon Trotsky, a close associate of Vladimir Lenin, was held there. His real name was Lev Bronstein, but it was after a short stay in Kresty that he became known as Trotsky. He took this pseudonym from a prison guard named Trotsky, with whom the future revolutionary ideologue managed to befriend. Alexander Kerensky spent 4 months in Kresty. According to his own words, those years benefited him. In solitude, Kerensky tried to make sense of the events unfolding in Russia. Apparently, he succeeded, since he later became the head of the provisional government. Kresty also inspired aircraft designer Andrei Tupolev. His first serious works in aviation engineering were created within the walls of this prison. The famous theater and film actor Georgy Zhenov was also held in Kresty. Throughout his life, Zhenov was arrested multiple times and spent more than 10 years in prisons, camps, and exile.
But his journey as a prisoner began in Kresty, where, as he put it, he matured rapidly. The first escape from Kresty took place in 1922. On Police Day, 4 members of the legendary bandit Lenka Pantelev's gang successfully escaped. A prison guard assisted them by releasing the fugitives from the cell block. In 1946, a prisoner named Volkov escaped Kresty through a hidden passage. He prepared this route for several months, removing bricks from the wall. After escaping, Volkov went to a public bathhouse, but on the way encountered prison staff who detained him. In August 1969, during a prison yard walk, one detainee managed to climb upward, reach the roof via a metal grate, crawl through barbed wire, and escape the prison toward the Arsenal embankment.
In 1984, 2 inmates escaped using forged documents of SIZO staff. SIZO, Pretrial Detention Center. The documents were handmade from improvised materials. Photos were cut from magazines, stamps copied from personal files, and red threads on the IDs were pulled from unraveled socks. After a walk, the fugitives lagged behind, slipped into a service area, reached a control post, presented the documents, and walked out. In 1988, a repeat offender named Dacheshin escaped Kresty. He left prison instead of another inmate scheduled for release, an alimony offender. The 2 prisoners had similar builds, and to alter their appearance, both grew beards. Dacheshin was released, but soon rearrested. Maduev, nicknamed Chervenets, literally gold coin, served his final sentence in the Semipalatinsk camp, where well-known Kazakh thieves in Law, Racha, and Leka Mimish were held. There, Maduev was an ordinary brigade leader, known as a buger, literally hill, meaning work supervisor, and attracted little attention. He became a notorious bandit only after his release. After a short time on the outside, Maduev was arrested again and faced the death penalty. In Kresty, Chervenets managed to seduce investigator Vorontsova, who smuggled him a pistol. During an escape attempt, Maduev shot and wounded a guard officer, but the escape failed. Chervenets was sentenced to death, which was later commuted to life imprisonment. Modern Kresty Prison in Saint Petersburg consists of rebuilt solitary cells holding approximately 1,700 to 1,800 inmates. The church has been restored and reopened to worshippers with reconstructed domes, iconostasis, and altar. A new prison complex, Kresty II, is planned to open in Kalpino. In 1964, Kresty received a new status and became a pretrial detention center under the Federal Penitentiary Service of Saint Petersburg and Leningrad region. A Kresty museum was also opened. From its opening in 1993, only applicants to Interior Ministry universities and future prison service employees were allowed to visit. Since 1999, the museum has been open to the general public. Thank you for your attention. This was the channel all about prison. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Good luck to you.